Welcome to episode 27 of Daily Flip. We're going to be looking at a few different things today, one of which is the reason I'm holding Windex. I guess a Member Smart glass cleaner because it's cheap at Sam's Club, and a white cloth is because we're going to be cleaning a headliner inside of a Mercury Mountaineer. I had someone that test drove it yesterday that hopefully is going to come back tomorrow with her husband to look at it again, and actually a minivan beside it. But she looked up and we had missed cleaning the headliner. I've actually had a few people ask me how to do that because it's up in the air. Some of the aerosol carpet cleaners won't actually spray when you hold them up. So for me, I use this, and I'm going to show you how. We're actually going to double duty this. I'm going to be using this as a how-to video for YouTube, so we'll cut this out later and put it on a how-to. Otherwise, we actually walk outside and we'll take a look. We have a vehicle, if you watched yesterday, and it's currently not here. I mentioned in yesterday's show that somebody had come by and looked at a Volkswagen Rutan that we had. That was a minivan. They couldn't get their insurance situated. They didn't speak the same language as me, and so they were having trouble with the insurance company and trying to get things situated. So they actually came back today. I actually had someone ask me, I believe on yesterday's show in the comments, what I thought about down payments or deposits. If someone comes to look at your car, should you ask for a deposit? And yesterday I actually did. They were going to come back today, they said, and I said, well, if you want me to hold it, you know, and make sure no one else buys it, I'll take it offline. If you want to put a deposit down, we can definitely hold it for you. And you know, they looked at each other, there was three guys, and they decided not to, but you know, I had to ask. And so what I told them, I said, if you come back tomorrow, I'll make sure it's here. I wanted them to at least have some trust and rapport with me. I told them I was going to hold it for them, and I did, and they came back today. Now, if someone had come in with full price, they hadn't put anything down, that would have been a decision I would have had to make. Honestly, I probably would have sold it. But they would have had the opportunity to put that deposit down. If someone puts down $500, normally that's my go-to. If you put down $500 cash, I'll hold the car for you. And they might say, all I got is $300, all I have is $200. Anything's fine. If they put something down, we're definitely going to hold it for them. And they didn't, so it could have got away. A lot of times if someone leaves, if you see someone's brake lights with them driving out, normally you're never going to see that car again. They came back. It's fortunate we sold the car. I'll give you some more details on that in a moment. But right now, this is our vehicle. Here, actually, we got some really nasty weather coming in. Actually, it was like in the 70s last week. We had snow today. Nothing substantial, nothing that would actually stick. Not enough to get my kids out of school. They were disappointed. I was actually doing chapel this morning at my son's school, so we did elementary chapel. And all the kids were really disappointed because they were at school and it was snowing after chapel let out. It was snowing outside, so they all freaked out. But anyway, no accumulation today. This is our problem. I'll let the camera go inside. I'll let you look up at it. Our problem is actually up in here, if the camera's going to show it. So I'm not sure if the pink stain over there is going to come out. We'll test it, but this is our stain here. So I'm going to get the camera back in front of me because we are going to use this as a how-to video on YouTube. So this is actually how we film them. We come outside with the camera, I stand in front and tell them what I'm going to do. So I'm going to kind of go into that mode, and then we're going to get back into our daily flip. So this is the vehicle, and I'm talking to cameraman here. What's it? Yeah, let's do that. After I say this, and you're just kind of seeing how this works out, he's going to go to the other side because we're going to have a better angle. So I'll intro this, you'll walk around. Actually, no, you walk around now. So you guys are seeing the nitty-gritty. So this is how it works. So I'm going to start this how-to video now. So the stains I just mentioned are actually right above us. We're going to pan the camera up. You'll see our stains here. Actually I have a pink one. I'm not sure if this is going to come out. We've got a few all over. So the basic premise is we spray Windex on the ceiling, we wipe it off with a white cloth. Now this white cloth is ideal because it is not one that's going to leave fibers as we rub it. Things that are white, you know, white fuzz pieces aren't going to come off. Don't use like the red shop towels. If you're a mechanic and you have those laying around, don't use that because the red will actually come off. The stain will come off on your ceiling. So all we're gonna do is spray up, and we'll hopefully you can see, we'll find one that you can see, maybe right here. Just a couple miss. We just missed at the camera. Hopefully that doesn't mess us up. And then we're just scrubbing back and forth. And if you can see on this white cloth here, this is the stain coming off. Basically, we're extracting this stain onto our cloth. It might take a few different times over it. Scrubbing back and forth. Now, curious if this pink stain, just while we're here, will do anything. It actually looks like it will. With a stain like this, especially a colored stain, try to stay, you see it coming off the metal here, try to not spread it, so try to stay in the area. Now as you're doing this doesn't always mean your headliner is going to look perfect, but we're going to get it to where we can at least minimize the aesthetic, I guess minimize, I can't think of my words. We don't want it to draw our eye. So we took this stain over here from a pretty substantial streak on the ceiling to pretty much not being able to be seen right here. The pink one would probably take a few more times. As you see, every time I'm dabbing it, we're getting more out of it. I'm betting somebody had a little girl. I have a 5-year-old daughter. I can just imagine the makeup or whatever she had that actually did this. But you can see this is getting lighter and lighter. I don't want to bore you with me going over it time and time again, but I'm drawing out more and more. The stain is getting lighter and lighter. But that's the basic premise. So I'm going to go through the rest of the ceiling. We'll get out marks here, here, here. It doesn't mean it's going to look perfect or brand new, but it's going to be a lot less obvious that there's stains in the ceiling. So that's how we do the how-to videos. I'm going to meet up over here. And you can see we got a lot out and off of it. All these marks here are stains that came out. So we'll walk back inside. Our Liberty right over here is actually pretty dry. We had the dehumidifier in there. That's mostly done. I gotta put it all back together, dropping my stuff. Gotta put all the plastics and everything back on, put the carpet back down. Our Volkswagen Rutan today, we sold it for $5,400. We were asking $59.50. They came in, I'm gonna shut my door. They came in and asked what my bottom dollar was. Be careful when someone asks you that, because you don't wanna go down too far the first time, because people expect that they can get you down further. So I said 57. That was going down $250. They then said, is there any way you could do 54? When I said 57, I was hoping that they were gonna counter at 55. They offered 54. There was a language barrier. I didn't want to lose it over $100, so I said yes. So for me, I think on this one I only netted like 1,600 or so. So I'm not quite at my 2,000, but we're gonna make up for that on some other ones. So made $1,600 today. So fortunately, they paid in cash. So we got a lot of 20s, 50s, 100s. This is 56, 66, because they also paid the sales tax. That was also a question someone asked, I think yesterday, if we collect sales tax. For me in North Carolina, someone will pay their sales tax included in the price if I issue them a 30-day tag. This is our temporary registration book, so I did issue them a 30-day tag, so I had to collect the sales tax. If someone wanted to, they could pay it on their own. I don't charge any extra. I don't charge any kind of fees for me to go do that for somebody, because I'm there twice a month anyway, so they paid for everything there. So that's our one sale for today. It's funny, they didn't even test drive it, which is, I offered, I said, would you like to drive it? And they said no, so that was nice and easy. They just handed me the cash, took the keys, did the paperwork, we were done. So I'll take you in the back, we'll look at one more thing. Yesterday I showed you a Jeep Grand Cherokee we were starting a lift on. My mechanic only worked till 3 today, from 9 to 3. So among other things today, we got the majority of the front suspension put together. We've got the spring, we've got new bushing mounts, top and bottom, shocks here. We have the bracket. If the camera can come behind this wheel, you're gonna see the control arm hanging down there. Tomorrow we actually have to mount that to the front mount, which actually we're gonna have to come to the front of this differential with a come along. Basically that is it's like a metal type of a rope, like it's threaded. We'll hook it to the differential. We're gonna pull from this differential to the Jeep. There's a yellow Jeep behind us you saw when we walked by. We're gonna hook to that differential. We're gonna pull it to try to get about 2 inches of movement so we can connect those control arms. That's our plan there. This is different than some of the other lifts we've done. This is a friend of mine. I told him we've not done a Grand Cherokee, so we definitely could do it for him, but it's one of those that's kind of a learning experience. My mechanic, he's really good at what he does, but it's nice, and I'll try to see if I can find it. There's actually a instruction guide. Here it is. So it's kind of like when you buy a piece of furniture from IKEA or somewhere, Target, you got to put it together. We pulled this out of the box, and so we started at step number 1. You can do this, you do that, and he's just kind of checking it off as he goes, just to make sure we don't miss anything. There's relocation of the control arm brackets, a lot of fun stuff. So he's just gone through step by step, and we're putting it together as we go along. A lot of repairs are just like this. It's not necessarily rocket science to fix or repair a vehicle. It's having the understanding of how the mechanics of a vehicle work. And if you can know the step-by-step procedure for most things, you can do it yourself. We pay a couple $100 a month for a service called All Data, so we can actually have that when you want to replace the AC compressor for this, or even these headlights. I mean, pretty straightforward on these headlights. We would go, looks like one bolt here, probably another over here. Probably could turn it to the side, pull it out. But if you didn't know what to do on here, you could go on All Data, put in this vehicle. This is a 2000, I believe it's a 2000 Jeep Wrangler. So we would put that information in, put the engine, and we would put headlight or headlamp. And it's going to tell me how to replace this. It's going to tell me where all the bolts are. That way, I mean, we've all done it. You've not known where all the bolts were. You take off 1, 2, and you hear snap, and you break a bracket. So this actually tells you where everything is. So otherwise, if you buy a new part, you can always take the new part and look on it and see, okay, there's probably one here. You can see underneath, this fits into a socket, this fits into a socket, and this one fits into a socket. So it's pretty straightforward. But a service like All Data, if you are an actual mechanic or have a garage, very helpful program to have. So that is this. Tomorrow we have the rear section to do. The rear's pretty basic. We just got springs, these pieces that go top bottom of the actual spring. We've got shocks. We've got I guess that's about it. These little pieces here go on the bottom of the shocks. They're just to be pretty. I guess they have the brand, so it's going to sit like this on the bottom. If you look under it, you'll see their logo. So nothing fancy there. That's really all for today's episode. Otherwise, we have the first 2 episodes of the podcast. Got episode 2 recorded today, so technically there's 3. There's episode 0, 1, and 2. That is in the works. Hopefully to launch in the next couple weeks. You'll be hearing more about that. We're actually going to have a launch week. I'm going to be giving away some stuff. Going to be probably giving away some gift cards, having some drawings, because I want you guys to be as interested as possible. If you've watched this far in this show, you at least have some interest in car flipping, and this show is going to be more convenient. So if you've watched all the way through, you've been sitting on a phone, on your computer, and sure, there's been some helpful information. I've been able to show you things, but the podcast is something you can take with you, have your headphones in, get me in the car, walking the dog, doing whatever, and I can be teaching you and answering questions. If you have a specific question, you can submit it to me. You can actually put it below this show if you'd like on YouTube or Facebook. I can get that, put it in the queue to answer it in an upcoming The Car Flip podcast, so stay tuned for that. Otherwise, I will see you tomorrow.